together, make some noise, go toads, woo, bloody crazy for Joe Mickleburgh!
Hello, I'm Joe Mickleburgh and I come from the West Country. So it's a wonderful place, the West Country. It's the home of cider and brunel and incest. But don't worry, my family don't do anything like that. Just ask my Uncle Dad. So I grew up in Bristol and I was there until I was 19. So from 14 to 19 I was a cub leader. So it's like Scouts but for slightly younger kids, about that big, from 8 to 10 and a half. And the cub troop I was with had a reputation for kind of taking the misfits, all the stuff that, well, the kids at the other groups didn't want, because they could be quite middle class. And one of the kids we had was this kid called Shay. He was so full of love. He had these gorgeous brown eyes, and he was always so smiley and so happy, and he laughed at everything, and oh god, he was just fantastic. His mum was really nice. She came from Bristol, and his dad came from the Caribbean, and I never met him because he died when Shay was a kid. Can I get an aww? So Shay, despite being this amazing bubbly ball of happiness, Shay also had autism. So one year we were at the St George's Day Parade at Bristol Cathedral, and the Bishop of Bristol was there. Shay was his usual smiley, loving self, really loving everything, absolutely amazed by the fantastic cathedral. And then the bishop wanted to start telling the story of St George, and it was an audience participation story, so I'm going to see if I can get you guys to join in. So when the bishop said sword, you had to pull out a sword and go, shing! Can you do that for me? Sword. Shing! Fantastic. So when the bishop said princess, you had to go, ooh la la! Princess? Ooh la la! Fantastic, brilliant. And when the bishop said dragon, you had to hiss. Can I get a dragon? Fantastic, brilliant. So the bishop started telling his story. He started talking about St George, and there were plenty of swords. And princesses. And then it got to a point where he was talking about dragons. So that was fine, everything went well, the story continued. And then it got to a point where the bishop said the word dragon again. And everyone hissed, as you did. And I stopped for a second, and I thought, oh, that was nice. And then I turned around, and I looked at Shay, and he was staring up at me with those lovely brown eyes, with the biggest smile on his adorable little face, and I thought, oh God, he's up to something. So I stopped, and I thought, what could he be doing? I know that smile is not a good one. What's he doing? And then he looks up at me with the biggest smile on his face. So I think, right, what do I do? What do I do? I can't let this child hiss all through the middle of a church service. So I stop and I say to him, Shay, if you're going to do that, please can you stop? Because otherwise I'll have to take you outside. And he looks up at me. So I say to him, Shay, please, I'm going to take you outside, okay? So he looks up at me. So I stand up, and the bishop stops talking, and he just stares at me. And I think, oh my God. And then I look at Shay, and he stands up, and he looks at me and smiles, and then he looks at the bishop, and then... So I think, right, I've got to take them out. What do I do? So I take Shay by his hand, and I walk him out. So I had to walk in front of this cathedral full of 500 people, in front of the bishop, with a small hissing black child in tow. And you just know that there was some guy that when he got home, he spoke to his wife and was like, oh, see, I told you I was right about those blacks. But when you think about it, he's really not right about those blacks, because the dragon would not stop hissing on command, would they? So, after I finished in Bristol, I moved to Preston for uni. Has anyone ever been to Preston?
Yes.
Oh God, I'm so sorry for all of you. So, I started a degree in French and Arabic, which is quite something. It's a difficult one. Can I get my slide? Next one. So one day, I see this. So this is a guy called Adnan Mahmoud from my Arabic class. He vanishes one day, and then I find out why, because his face is on the front cover of our local newspaper. So it turns out he tried to join the Islamic State. So Adnan, the more I read into it, I found out that he physically went to Syria and tried to join, and he was distributing extremist material, and something I will never understand is he was running a jihadi helpline. And I cannot imagine, you ringing that number and then answering it, "Hello, this is Jihadi Direct." Press 1 for suicide bombing, 2 for oppression, and 3 for human resources. So after that, I thought to myself, perhaps Arabic, me being quite this camp, isn't the right thing for me. So I switched to French and linguistics, and I thought linguistics was going to be really boring, and I was wrong. I fell in love with it. I thought it was an absolutely fantastic topic. I learned so much, but then I had to stop because I went abroad for my year abroad, because I studied French. And I found France quite isolating, because my French is not great. So there was a bit of a language barrier there. And it got to a point where I was going to my local supermarket called Carrefour every single day, so I could get myself a rotisserie chicken breast and a bottle of wine for dinner. And I always used to have the most valuable interactions with the people at the staff. It was stuff like, "It is him again," and "Do you not have any friends?" But there were loads of really good things about living in France, like the price of cigarettes, or the price of rolling tobacco, or smoking. But I think the best bit was the fact that it wasn't Preston. So I came back, and then I started to do some more linguistics and more in depth. So I learned about this thing called clitics. Now, if I can have my next slide. So, I know what you're thinking. Well, there goes my weekend. So, I had to find out about clitics and what they were, and then I had to write an essay on it. And I went to my lecturer one day and said, "Pauline, I have no idea what to write about." And she looked at me and said, "So Joe, what is it that you think makes clitics sexy?" And I thought to myself, "Well, I'm marrying a man, nothing." So I sat down and I thought about it, and the harder I thought, oh yeah, I can get an angle for this. So can I have someone from the audience? Yeah, do you want to come? And what's your name? Sophia. So, Sophia, do you know what a clitic is? No. Excellent, fantastic. So, can you have a look at this and tell me, I'll give you a second, what you think the clitic is? I'll give you a couple of seconds. Okay, so can you show me your clitic, Sophia? Ground up wasp nest? Good, but not quite. You're very close though. But I mean, I always said it was just the men who can find the clitic. So, you can go and sit down. Can we get another round of applause for Sophia? So, a clitic is something that has to be attached to something else for it to make sense. So, it's like the apostrophe D in "I wish I'd never been born," or the apostrophe VE in "I should have made better life choices." So, can anyone work out what in this sentence the clitic might be? What's something that has to be attached to something else? Don't. Exactly, perfect, it's don't. So, please don't put ground up wasp's nests in your vagina. Whilst I'd like to think it's a good life motto, if you got rid of the apostrophe T, then it would not be unsurprising if you misread it for "please do put ground up wasp's nests in your vagina." And whilst I'm not here to kink shame, I don't think it's a very good idea. So they have clitics in other languages as well, and being a French specialist, I found out about clitics in French. And the most used French clitic is "u," which I think is absolutely fantastic, because "u" describes the French view on most parts of the world. So the more I looked into it, the more I thought, oh, this was fantastic, there's so much I can do about this, there's so much more I can get into. So I delved further and further and further and further, to the point where I had tables of, there must have been about 300 cells full of critics. And I got to a point where I thought to myself, oh my God, I've never seen so many critics in my life. And with a voice like this, I don't think you'll be surprised if I say, oh, I wish I'd never see one again. So I then finished my degree at the University of Central Lancashire in Preston, thank God. And then I got a place at Man Met, which I think is, it's such a lovely uni. Are you all from Manchester?
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So something, I always thought it was a sign that I was going to go to Manchester, to Man Met, because the symbol of Manchester, the animal, is a bee, fantastic. And I thought, well, it's clearly something if there are so many critics and grounds at Wasp Nests, and then for me to come to Manchester. So I absolutely loved it. I love living here. Everyone's so friendly, and unlike in Preston, people don't judge me for being from the south. And I don't blame them though. Being this camp is something else they can hate me for. Or I'm Jewish, I have Asperger's, and from all of that, I know what you must be thinking. Get him! Everyone here is wonderful, and I absolutely love it. And I live with the most wonderful family, with my fiance and his dad, and oh, it's just fantastic. And I had such a warm and loving welcome here. And I'm so glad to be in Manchester, and from then the rest is history. But I've been Joe Mickleburgh, and thank you.